Good morning, my little Mises Two Pieces. This is Granny Patty. We are on lesson 17, and we're going to be learning today about Canada goose, or better known as Canadian geese. All right, so the Canada goose isn't really just in Canada. In fact, it is one of the most common and widespread birds in North America. Birds are named for all sorts of reasons, and one of the reasons that this goose got its name was probably because it was seen coming from and going to Canada for breeding season. The Canada goose is a migratory bird, but has been known to live year-round in areas where the water doesn't freeze. We see them around here quite a bit. Hopefully when you guys come and see, there'll be some around. If you live in this bird's breeding or wintering grounds, chances are you have seen their telltale V formation flying above your head or heard their honks loudly proclaiming their arrival. Maybe you have seen their droppings on a dock, covering the surface so that you could hardly walk, or had to tell your dog to stop eating the white stuff at the river or park. It isn't good for them because it can carry parasites. Or possibly you've been privileged to watch a family of geese with their cute little yellow goslings walking or swimming together. Now the book is offering an activity break, so think about this. Look up some pictures of the Canada goose. What do you notice about them? Have you seen one before? Have you ever seen their V formation flying above your head? What do they sound like? Your grandpa could always practice talking to the birds, and when they'd come over and honk, he'd honk back, and they'd honk to him. It was always kind of funny. So what do Canadian geese look like? What's their appearance? The Canada goose is fairly easy to identify because of their size, their markings, and their honking call. They have long black necks and black bills, legs, and feet. Their feet are webbed, which makes them excellent swimmers. They have a white band under their chin that goes just behind their eye and is called their chin strap because it kind of looks like the strap of a helmet. They are mostly brown, but have a lighter chest, and their belly and undertail coverts are white. They have a black tail that peeks out from their brown feathers. There are at least 11 subspecies of the Canada goose with different colors, sounds, and sizes depending on their diet and habitat. The largest among them can weigh up to 20 pounds and grow up to 43 inches long. But the average Canada goose is more like 9 pounds. Though you are probably most familiar with their honking call you hear as they fly overhead. They have many different calls and can even hiss when they feel threatened or are protecting their young. What do Canadian geese eat? What's their diet? Canada geese are primarily herbivores. That means they mostly live off of plants. They eat grasses and plants in the summer and feed on berries and seeds or grains in the winter. They will also eat aquatic plants by dipping their heads in the water and sometimes submerging their whole body, kind of like ducks do. During migration and the winter, the geese will flock together to find food, sometimes in flocks greater than 1,000. Oh, can you just imagine seeing 1,000 Canadian geese in the air? They need a lot of food to give them enough energy, so that means they have to spend most of their day from sunrise to sunset foraging for food. What's their habitat? Where do they live? Canada geese are found all across North America and even will go north to parts of Greenland during breeding season. They are not limited to North America, however, and have been found in Europe as well. In Canada, before the water freezes, the northern geese will migrate further south to the United States or even as far as northeastern Mexico. They can be found in parks and fields, near lakes, marshes, and other wetland habitats, and near farms. During breeding season, they are usually never far from a permanent water source and will even build their nests on mounds in or near the water. So how long do they live? What's their life cycle? Well, Canada geese mate for life, and pairs will often come back to the same nesting and wintering grounds year after year. The female chooses the nest site, and they build the nest mainly with nearby grass, moss, leaves, and other plants. Once the female has started laying her eggs, she will add some of her feathers to the nest and pluck some of her down to line it with and help keep the eggs warm during incubation. The number of eggs that are laid depends on the size and subspecies of the geese. However, they average between 4 to 7 eggs. Males protect the female and eggs during incubation, which takes about 25 to 28 days, about a month. If you go near a nest, you might see the male or female hold out their wings to make them look really big. Then they stick out their tongue, kind of like they are panting, and start to hiss and make noises to intimidate you to leave them alone. They have been known to attack people, so it's best to let them be if you see them sitting or acting in an aggressive way. Baby geese, called goslings, hatch with feathers and their eyes open and leave the nest within about 24 hours of hatching. They imprint on the first thing they see and associate, which means see themselves, as whatever their mother is. Sometimes geese imprint with other animals and even people. In 1988, a man named Bill Lishman even led some geese he had raised in a migration with a small airplane. It made the news, and eventually a movie was made about it called Fly Away Home in 1996. It's a good movie to watch, actually. I loved it. Goslings stay with their parents for their first year of life, migrating south with them in the winter, and usually not choosing a mate and going off on their own until they are about 2 years old. They can live a very long time, up to 30 years, but the average is more like 10 years. The population of the Canada goose is carefully monitored. More and more people have begun to see them as pests and even aggressive to people, driving them away from beaches or other water sources. The main risks to the Canada goose are predators, sickness, and parasites, pesticides sprayed on fields, and hunting. Alrighty then, my little darlings. It's Mama's turn. You guys pull out your student notebooks. You're going to learn a lot today. These are really beautiful birds. I love them. So with that, I will bid you have a wonderful rest of your day. You know Granny loves you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.